Partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
The prediction, how do you see it playing out on Saturday night?
Dustin's going out on a stretcher. I'm ready for it all, but he's going out on a stretcher.
KO out on a stretcher. This man is going.
Your wrestling is zero. Your grappling is zero.
Stall it down,
I'm gonna mow you. Let's wrestle, kid. Let's wrestle. Let's wrestle. 6 October. Let's wrestle.
Let's wrestle. Yeah, you hope, mate.
Panic wrestler, that's who I fight every time. And if they're not a wrestler, if they're not a panic wrestler, they will become a panic wrestler. And that's as simple as that.
There's one word to sum up Conor McGregor's downfall. Money. Conor McGregor was by far the biggest name in UFC, and I would like to think he still is today. You know, people talk about Alex Pereira. A couple years ago it was Charles Oliveira. The only person I could see competing with his comeback is if Khabib ever made a comeback, which we both know is absolutely impossible. The biggest fight the UFC could make right now is if Conor fought Islam, especially if Khabib is cornering Islam, because that would be like a rematch to one of the biggest UFC fights of all time, Khabib versus Conor. And now, before we can talk about super fights and how this man had his downfall, we must first talk about his rise. Now, I'll keep it short and sweet. This story has been covered like hundreds and thousands of times, so I won't bore you with it that heavy. Conor was basically in the gym a couple of months, then he'd go disappear a couple of months with his friends who were bad influences, you know, going out, doing dumb shit. His coach saw potential, but he knew he could never get him in the gym because of his surroundings. Conor would end up depressed in his room. Coach would convince him to come to the gym, train hard, and he did. He ended up climbing the ranks in Cage Warriors and achieved double champ status. Now, his dream, of course, was to make it to UFC, but the bigger dream was to achieve that double champ status in UFC. Had one of the biggest debuts in UFC, you know, round 1 TKO. He immediately called out for the 60-gram bonus, which is now one of the most iconic post-fight interviews of all time. I mean, I love that clip.
Thank you very much. Dana, 60 G's, baby!
He was rising up fast with his trash talking and his spectacular performances, knockout after knockout. He achieves this dream of being the first simultaneous double champ in the UFC, goes to boxing, fights Floyd, gets a ginormous bag from boxing, comes back, loses horrifically to Khabib, beats an aging Donald Cerrone, and then loses twice in horrific fashion to Dustin Poirier. First being nice Conor McGregor and him getting TKO'd in round 2, I think, and this one in 2021, which ended in Conor McGregor breaking his leg at the end of round 1. Minute 20. I think that might be the fastest somebody has ever recapped Conor McGregor's career. And here we are 3 years later. We were all excited. He was the ultimate fighting coach last summer, I think, and the fight between him and Michael Chandler was supposed to happen at the end of the year. That fell through. Rescheduled to June 29th, International Fight Week of this year. That also fell through. And now they're targeting it at the end of 2024. Absolute shenanigans. I mean, this was a guy that was known for not pulling out. He was calling out his opponents for pulling out, and now in this day and age he looks like Hamza Chimaev out there. And you know, I respect the effort, I respect Conor for trying to get back into this fighting game, but I don't think he will ever get close to sniffing a title ever again. And respectfully, he doesn't need to. Bro has like 5 businesses. One being Proper 12, a whiskey brand which he started in 2018. He promoted the hell out of this in numerous fights and in numerous press conferences, so then he could sell it after 3 years for $600 million. And that's only one business. He talked it up for 3 years as the best whiskey, this, that, and the third. And then he sold majority of shares for $600 million. God damn. I mean, you have to respect it. If I made that much money off my name from the fight game, I wouldn't step close to a fighting arena, let alone even in the octagon again. Although he did have some issues when he was starting up this brand. Artem Lobov, his good friend at the time, wanted to sue him because he quote unquote gave him that idea, but that's a story for another time.
Artem is a rat, na 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 na, hey, na 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 na, hey. Artem is a rat, na 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 na, hey, rat.
Now he has a stout, the Forge Irish Stout, which he started I think in like middle of 2023. That has been going through the roof. He's constantly promoting it. It's in boxing rings, the BKFC circle. You can only imagine what kind of numbers that is doing. I mean, how can it not do so well? Just look at this clip of of Conor McGregor resisting himself of not taking one tiny sip.
Forge Irish Stout, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the cream on that, my man, yeah? Now they say... That's unbelievable, folks. I've 6 weeks. I've been off the drink. I've been off my beautiful products since the 10-week mark. So we're 5 weeks and 5 days out. I'm taking this seriously, to give my support, the best version of me inside the cage. But you can still have a good whiff of it, and it's lovely.
That man is an alcoholic. He also has a fashion brand, August McGregor, which nets him $50 million a year as of 2022. The suits that Conor McGregor wears constantly are from this brand, and the co-owner of this brand made him the infamous "fuck you" suit. Although I'm not sure they're still running. Their last post on social media was on November 13, 2023, so that might be a sign that it's going downhill, but at its peak it was making a buttload of money. He also has a couple more companies, McGregor Fast, which is like a health-based thing, like a workout plan-based thing. He also has Tidal Sports, which is recovery-based creams and shit. And with all of this, Google puts his net worth at 200 million, which I think is grossly underestimating it. Now you might be asking, why am I bringing up his many companies? Why am I bringing up their net worths, how much he's earning? Well, it's because of money he has got into this situation. When he was just coming up in the UFC, when he was a hot prospect, the only thing that he needed to worry about is fighting and media day. That's it. Now he has all of these responsibilities, all of these distractions, that he can no longer solely focus on training and fighting. Plus, add on top of that the millions he's made, which makes him extra demotivated to try and step into the octagon again. Just look at this quote on what Prime McGregor wanted for his future.
I've lost my mind doing this game, yeah? Like Vincent van Gogh. He dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me. But fuck it. And that gold belt is around my waist. And my mother has a big mansion. And my girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week. And my kids have everything they ever want. Then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind. Yeah? I'll die a crazy old man.
You need this type of hunger, you need this type of drive if you want to make it at the top of anything, and I think Conor McGregor is nowhere near this. While I love and respect Conor, don't get me wrong, Conor McGregor is one of my favorite fighters. I do think his return fight is just purely gimmick. It would be badass if he destroyed every fighter in the lightweight or welterweight or whatever category he's going to fight, but that has a 0.001% chance of happening. I wish him all the best in his return, whenever that is, if it even happens, but I do think that the Michael Chandler fight has a very high likelihood of not happening. You know what? I'll let the man himself try and prove to you that he is motivated, competitive, and still in the fight game.
It's hard to wake up.
I've got the satin sheets, I've got the silk sheets, I've got the fucking Egyptian cotton duvets and pillows, I've got everything.
So why wake up at 5 a.m.?
Competition, man, competition. It's the best buzz ever. Well, how would you not want to do it? How would you not want to make this walk and experience this whole thing? You know, it's highly addictive, and I'm highly addicted. So that's it.
Right over there, the people who say that you're done, the people who say that you're a shell of your former self, that you can't recreate the magic of 2016. What do you say to those people in closing?
Yeah, no, keep dreaming, because that ain't the truth. I know my skill level has gone way up, even in the last camps, and I'm getting better. So I'm excited and confident to go in and not necessarily prove those people wrong, but prove my support correct. That's always my goal.